Hey everybody, today I'm making meatball subs. And yes, I'm cheating just a little bit. I'm using already pre-made meatballs. You can always make your own. I usually do, but kind of was tired today, so I opted for the pre-made meatballs. I will put my recipe for my meatballs in the comments once I'm done. But I'm going to make doctor up a tomato sauce. You guys already know I never take anything straight from the can. That's why you see the fresh tomatoes, the onion, the fresh garlic, of course, and the fresh basil. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll see you in a few. Okay, in my pan I have some small dice of carrots, onions, and celery. I use one medium-sized carrot, a quarter of a white onion, and I also used a half a stalk of celery, all chopped up fine. I let it cook a little bit to saute down to soften up. Then I added some chopped garlic, and I also added about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and I let that cook down just a little bit. Now I'm going to add about a quarter cup of white wine or Moscato, whichever one you have on hand. And I'm going to let this cook out until almost all of the alcohol evaporates. And then I'm going to season this with little Worcestershire sauce, bit of Italian seasoning blend, and my paprika blend. Again, if you can't find that blend, you can use regular paprika or smoked paprika, a little chili powder, a little cayenne, and some fresh chives. We're going to let this simmer, and like I said, and cook down until it's almost dry at the bottom of the pan. And once that's dry, after we add our seasonings, we're going to add a can of pasta sauce, tomato sauce, and we're also going to add about 3 tablespoons of sugar. And it might seem like a lot, but it's not, because we're going to also add fresh tomatoes in here, and we want to kind of cut the acidity from the tomatoes. And then I'm going to add about a teaspoonful of crushed red pepper flakes. And then we're going to let that simmer and cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay? As you can see, I've already added everything in. The fresh chopped tomatoes, you can see. I diced them medium dice because I'm going to break down a little bit because I want this sauce to cook down some. And in my pan, I have my meatballs all lined up and ready to go. And I added a little bit of stock at the bottom. If you don't have stock, you can always add water. And these are going to go into the oven for about a half an hour to 45 minutes. And then we're going to also cut up our potatoes, toss those with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, a little garlic powder, and put those in the oven as well. I've got the oven at about 350, 375. Should take no more about 25 minutes to a half an hour. And here we have the meatballs that have been cooking for about 25 minutes. I've taken them out of the oven. The white stuff you see oozing out is cheese. They're cheese-filled meatballs. And like I said, I kind of went lazy route this time, and I got pre-made meatballs, and I got the ones with the cheese inside. You can always opt out for just plain meatballs if you get them pre-made. And like I said, I will make sure that I put into the comments how I make my homemade meatballs if you prefer to use that. And they're also rolled in breadcrumbs, which is going to help thicken the sauce. And here's my sauce that's been simmering also for 25 minutes. I'm going to give it a quick stir. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the meatballs to the sauce, and I'm going to let them cook for another about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. We don't want them falling apart, but you want to make sure they're tender and moist. And we also have our potatoes in the oven right now. They've also been cooking. They've been cooking for about half an hour. Once we add the meatballs in, I'm going to crank the oven up to 425, and I'm going to let the potatoes cook for another 15 to 20 minutes. They're going to probably be done roughly around the same time as the meatballs. And once everything is done, we're going to go ahead and chop up some fresh basil. I'm going to add that last because I want that freshness into the tomato base. If you put it in early at the beginning or at this point, you're going to lose a lot of that fresh flavor. I mean, if you want to do that, you can go ahead and use dried basil, but I wanted some freshness to this because I am using canned tomato sauce instead of making fresh straight from tomato sauce, and that way you'll get that light fresh flavor. We're going to go ahead and add the meatballs now, let them simmer for another 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, here you have it, our meatball sub and our oven roasted potatoes. And like I said, I tossed the potatoes in a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and a little garlic powder, and I roasted them in the oven. And on the sub, I bought some sub rolls. I have a slice of provolone cheese at the bottom, put the meatballs and a little bit of the sauce inside, and I topped it with a little bit of grated parmesan romano cheese. And as always, thank you for watching. Stay blessed. And for all you gamers out there, check out KIDDJEANYUS, Kid Genius. For all you inspiring makeup artists, Lady Cmo1, LADYSEEMO, and the number 1. Peace and blessings. Thank you.